we're getting into the dicey questions. This is Nathan from Boston, and this is Multicolor. Let's talk Christmas lights! My name is Nathan Hearn. I'm the owner of Very Good Remodel and Construction, and I've been in the Christmas light game for seven years. I think this is my 8th season, and we've had a lot of requests for an in-depth explanation of our Christmas light service that we do full-time October through January, and we get a lot of the same questions come through every year, and oftentimes customers don't even know what questions to ask. And so this is going to be kind of a long-form video that you should have all the info you need, from the estimating process to the actual install, all the way down to takedowns. So there will be timestamps down in the description if you have specific questions, or if you want to get an overview of the whole thing. So I had some of my office put together some FAQs, some frequently asked questions, and I love talking shop, which is a byproduct of being passionate about something. So let's get into it. How did you get into hanging lights? So I worked for an outdoor power equipment dealer in Tulsa for about 5 years, and we sold trimmers, chainsaws, mowers, stuff like that. We serviced equipment, sold parts, etc. I got to know a lot of our commercial lawn care customers from when they would come in the off season, and they would talk about hanging Christmas lights. The schedule really works out where here in Oklahoma, we start mowing in March, April, and we stop mowing about October. And once the grass stops growing, it's about time for Christmas lights. And so a lot of these guys would do that, and that's where I learned how to do it. I really got into the nuts and bolts of how to custom cut lights, got in touch with some local suppliers, and I started doing houses for friends and family. That was years and years ago, and the rest is history. It's kind of an unorthodox business model, but I would say that these two things that we do, bathroom remodels, custom tile work, and Christmas lights, are the two things that have enriched my professional life like I would have never dreamed. Over the past few years, I think that has really contributed to the success of the business. Where did the name come from? Yeah, so the name, it's Very Good Remodel and Construction. It's loosely based on a fictional business that Ron Swanson created after his tenure at the Parks Department in the NBC sitcom Parks and Rec. I consider myself kind of a Swanson-type personality, but I have a sarcastic and dry sense of humor, and it just seemed right. You know, over the years, my work has spoken for itself, and that's what's really important. The name was kind of secondary, but it is the business name. It is a legitimate tax-paying business and a registered LLC in Oklahoma. Do you take credit cards? Yeah, absolutely. In fact, I would say 95% of our customers pay their deposits and their final invoices through an email link that you get sent, and you can just pay with your credit card. You can do Apple Pay. It's just simply the best way to do it, and it's trackable. You know, it's convenient. There's a paper trail. Of course, we still have a handful of customers who prefer to pay with cash or with a check and a handshake, and there's something very nostalgic and special about that too. We just invoice you the same way and just email a receipt afterwards. What sets you apart? So I'm going to answer this from the perspective as me as the business owner and us as a business first. I'm continually trying to raise the standard, gain credibility, continue ongoing education, systems, procedures, technology, materials, things that we need to keep up on in our industry. And honestly, it comes naturally when you love what you do to continually raise the standard for us as a business and for our customers as well, which is the most important thing. We kind of have 3 pillars of business that we operate on. Number 1 is safety. At the end of the day, people are injured or die every year from just hanging lights on their own house and trying to make their home look nice at the end of the year. And I would say if you're not comfortable on a ladder or a roof, then it's not worth it. I spent years when we first started out investing in the proper materials, the proper safety equipment, things like that to make sure that we're effective and efficient, but also being safe. And this one should be obvious, but we carry insurance to protect the homeowner from any accidents or property damage. And speaking of property damage, that's another aspect of the safety pillar, is that we do everything in our power to prevent damage on your home. We use standoffs on our ladders. In my opinion, no ladder should ever contact a gutter. They can bend easily, they can scratch, but it's an easy problem to avoid. And we do that. We use roofing shoes that help us grip the roofs and minimize the loss of roof sand from the asphalt shingles. We have pads that we use when we're going up to do ridge lines or dormers. If we have to drill to hang a wreath or some garland, we use silicone in that hole, things like that. Number 2 is service. So our business model is that 100% liability rests on us, and you just enjoy your home all lit up. And that means that all service calls, all repairs are taken care of within 24 hours. And so it's all in our hands, and we just take care of it, and our customers really appreciate that. One more point about service is that we do take them down in January, and we store them in their own container with a big silica pack to keep them dry and keep your lights looking great for years and years. Number 3 is quality. And this is probably the only one that people think about instinctively. Did they hang up the lights? Do they look good at night? Obviously, it's very important, but I would say it's incomplete without the other 2 things mentioned before. And, the materials we use are the best available. We do little things like pointing the bulbs down, and so they flash off of the fascia boards and spread the light out instead of pointing them up and into the night air where they kind of disappear. We make sure you have a bulb on the peak. It looks really professional instead of doing like bunny ears. We zip tie the wires to the downspouts so you don't have wires hanging down. And these are the little touches that set us apart from other installs that I see with my own eyes. I'll take this opportunity to say that we are a registered business with CLIPA. That's Christmas Light Installation Professionals Association. Yes, it is a legitimate trade association recognized in the U.S. They specialize in Christmas light installation training. Try to find another local company that can say that. What is the difference between your materials and box store materials? Well, let me show you. All right, I have some Home Depot lights here. I've got one of our bulbs that I've torn apart. These are Halloween lights because that's all I could get right now. If you take these are 25 bulbs. They're about 16 feet. You unscrew this, and this is all it is. So this is essentially a mini light. You can see that's the same. And so it's only going to put out that much light instead of something like this that's going to put out that much. This is one of our bulbs. This is the latest LED technology. And, we could go into SMDs, surface-mounted diodes, faceting, real nerdy stuff. But suffice it to say that you'll need to keep your sunglasses close by. It's like the solar eclipse. You can't look right at them. I'm kidding, of course. They have a nice bright glow, and, no matter how long I do this, I'm always surprised at how great they look. Let's talk about clips really quick. These are the clips that we use. As you can see, they're fully encircled on the bulb, and they just go right through there, and the bulb goes on top of there. And, that's going to hold on for years. Your your bulbs are never going to come out and the clips don't stay on the roof. And so when we take them down, everything comes down and you don't have clips all over your yard. You don't have clips left on the roof, which is also something I see a lot. How much electricity is used? I would say, without getting into a detailed electrical explanation about wattage, voltage, and stuff like that, it's a small enough amount that it's hard to even track, even with a lot of lights. My guess it's less than a cup of coffee a month to run your light display. And while we're talking about electrical, I'll just say an LED Christmas light display is well within code requirements and building regulations. It's under the classification of temporary landscape lighting, and the install of holiday lights does not require a licensed electrician to do the work in the state of Oklahoma. Do you do the work yourself or have crews? Okay, we currently have 2 crews, myself and another crew that usually takes care of like a 20-mile radius a little bit further south of where I'm at. And we're both CLIPA certified and trained. We divide and conquer, and then we come together for some of the bigger projects. It's going to be many, many years before I'm not out doing the work myself. I just love it too much, and making people happy around the holidays is just too much fun. There have been rumors circulating around the town circle that you play Mariah Carey's Christmas album through a Bluetooth speaker while you install, spreading joy to all who hear it throughout the neighborhood. Can you confirm that? Okay, listen. That's a pretty serious accusation. I don't know where you heard that from, but yeah, that's accurate. That album slaps. We have a rolling install cart that's got the speaker on it. I think this year we're going to add a hot chocolate machine. So people sleep on the Bieber Christmas album too. I mean, that album is fire. That was before the voice change and the neck tattoos. What colors can I choose from? So I'll talk about some of our most popular combinations. Number 1 is classic, warm white. And that gives you that nostalgic, warm, soft look on the house. Before LEDs came out, this is kind of the look that you had. Now these are LEDs. They just have a warmer Kelvin rating, giving you that natural glow. Our number 2 most popular is this right here. It's what I call the Christmas Special. It's a cool white red, cool white green, and it gives you all the Christmas colors without having too much noise, because they're separated each by a white. And so if you want to add a little color, you can do that. This is our 3rd most popular. We call it Candy Cane, just red white. You could also do that with warm white. If you really like that old school look, this is an LED light that is made to look like the old incandescent. It's called a flex filament bulb, and it gives you that look of having the filament in the middle. These are warm white. They come in a lot of colors. Just keep in mind that these are kind of a special order, and they can be pricey, but they give you that old style look of having an incandescent. Any combination of these can be put on your home, and I'll just say here that you can change colors from year to year at no extra cost. We just swap the bulbs out and move them around in inventory. How much does it cost? Okay, I'm going to give you the lawyer answer here. It depends. 2nd story roof lines, ridge lines, lift only accessible places, magnetic overhangs, those are going to cost more, of course. A 10-foot flat gutter line on a 1st story is going to cost less, right? Price-wise, I know for a fact we're not the cheapest in town. There are plenty of chuck in a truck companies that do this time of year just to keep their guys busy in the cold months. And we actually pick up a lot of their customers, or we take down their lights when they don't come get them, things like that. We take a different approach, and we simply just want to be the best in town, the most qualified, the safest, the most reliable, and the brightest bulbs on the block. You know, your neighbors are going to hate you, but your kids are going to love you, and that's what it's all about. You know, all that being said, our minimum is 600. Our average from 2021 was probably about 1,200. You know, it can get into the thousands if it's a lot of lights or has a lot of extras or a high-pitched roof that's difficult to navigate, that kind of thing. Do you do tree wrapping bushes? Absolutely not. Next question. No, we do install some mini lights, but it can get expensive to do it right with the proper coverage and make it look professional. The best bang for your buck is going to be the big C9 bulbs on the roof line, on the archways, the ridge lines, dormers, things like that. We also do plenty of lit garland on columns. And another great way to put a bow on it, so to speak, is like a 48 or a 60-inch lit wreath on one of your big entryways. Always looks great. Do we buy the lights or rent them? So this is probably the most common question that we get. We supply everything from the photocell timer at the beginning of the line, porch outlet, soffit outlet, side of the house, something like that, all the lights in the middle, all the way to the female plug where it terminates, and everything in between. In technical terms, it is a lease, but I just describe it as an all-inclusive service with us providing and replacing servicing materials as needed throughout the season, throughout the years, as long as you're a customer. Similar to a lawn care company that buys their own mowers, services their stuff, makes sure it's good to go, and then they use it on your property. After years of doing this, I found out that this is hands down the best way to maintain high quality, reduce service calls, and just maintain happy customers. We all get super busy around the holidays, and it's just one less thing you have to worry about. The most common issue that I see with the buying lights and charging labor or installing customer provided lights is that year one, it goes great. You know, the lights look good. Year two, the guy comes back out, puts them up, and one or all of them don't come on. At this point, the homeowner wants the contractor to fix them so that they have lights, and that's reasonable. The contractor wants the homeowner to buy new lights because those are their lights. They bought them. They're just labor only. And so it's the Spider-Man meme, right? The homeowner's pointing to the contractor's pointing to the homeowner. Somewhere in there is Walmart or Sam's. It's unclear who the responsibility lies on, and everyone's unhappy about it. To avoid all that, and I can't emphasize this enough, I've already talked about it, but we own all responsibility, all liability for your lights looking great as long as you're a customer, from install to takedown, the color that you want. And if they don't work right, we simply fix it. There's no uncomfortable meeting to ask for more money. There's no multiple service calls, trips back. We simply fix it. And you simply have a beautiful light display all season long for family and friends to enjoy. Let it snow. Let it snow. Let it snow. Let it snow. The lights are turned way down low. Let it snow. Let it snow and snow. Well, thanks for sticking with me today. This has been fun. I hope I answered all your burning questions about Christmas lights. The best way that you can get in touch with us is actually through Facebook Messenger, or you can text 918-527-0884 for a quick estimate. We can usually have something in your inbox within 24 hours of the initial contact. Thanks again. End scene. A flat 10-story. That would be quite an install. I need to have a shirt with these on there like this. looking great all year long. January to January, 12 months a year, all year long, all season long. Screw different colors in. That sounds... Screw the bulbs in, but we don't screw our customers. There we go.